Hey everybody, Paul here. I just talk a little clutch maintenance here. Just replacing our clutch discs here. For our pickup header here, for the pickup tooth drive down at the far end there. Just a couple things to look out for here. And of course, obviously look at your tooth wear. Make sure your teeth wear aren't really gouged in or anything. That'd be the number one thing. Then you need new gear if that's the point. But it goes together like this. So this piece goes on the bottom, which is just our little hub that fits on the shaft. And then we actually have a little brass ring here. Now this brass ring is just basically like a bushing, so that when the clutch does slip, it's got something to slide on instead of metal on metal. Just make sure that it's not too loose or anything on here. Like this isn't too bad. That'll be fine. I mean, I could almost drop it straight through here like that, but I mean, that's fine. It's not going to hurt nothing. And then this, of course, go like this, right? I'm not going to put the clutch discs in. And then this piece here, like so, and then our 3 spring plates. But when you do these spring plates, make sure you check these. I don't have any busted ones to show you. Could probably go in the old department there and check them. Get one for you, but just look here, along here, and along these lines here. You'll see cracks start here after a while, and that's probably after they get pretty old or they get abused. You know, like, I mean, it's a chopper. You can't say you're not going to abuse some clutches sometimes on some wads that some swather operator lays for you. You know what I mean? So things have a hard life. So anyways, to put it together, what I do is I take it apart, and as you can see, I actually did it last summer. Took it apart because I noticed it was slipping. And this was, well, these aren't the ones that was in it. This is what I put in after. These were just some good used ones I threw in. You can see they're half decent here. And I mean, they're pretty black and burnt, but if you take, say, something like this here, maybe one of these kind of fabric kind of wheels or something, I don't know, that might polish it a little too much, or some sandpaper might be even better, and just sand it down with some medium grit sandpaper just to get a little bite on this metal edge here, and of course a little bit on here. And you can see I did do it here. You can see some scratch marks around. So I mean, this hasn't been slipping since I put it together, which is a good thing, which means it just needed some clutch discs, which was good. And of course on the back side here too, you can see, and just give it a feel. Make sure there's no like uneven edges, and you know, and same with like this plate here. Just visually check it that it's square, you know, or take a square, an actual square, and run it on it. Same with this piece. Just make sure it looks something similar to that, right? Of course, and I should have started with disassembly, but hey, that's okay. This assembly is the exact opposite order. So you put that thing down, put a clutch disc on, flip our gear on there. And of course, that brass thing fell out. Oh, did I get it? Come on. Don't be stubborn. Hold on. There we go. And we put our brass thing on there. And make sure just make sure it fits all nice. I wouldn't say putting any lube on here would be a smart idea. Maybe like a tiny bit on the threads. Maybe. It's up to you. Consult your owner's manual. Put our other clutch disc on, just like that. Make sure we have it all nice, polished, and clean, and just not too much like visible rust, you know, and stuff like that. That little bit of rust there, I'm going to leave that there. Actually, it just wiped off with a thumb. And then we're going to put our other piece on here and make sure it goes the right way. You can see it's got an indent there, and this side is actually smooth. So make sure that goes the right way. You can just line our holes up here, right there, like that. And then take our individual clutch discs, just have a real good look at them, and put them on. Now, I don't know where the bolt holes are supposed to go. Most likely in these bigger holes. You can see this one's bigger than this one. Unless, let's see what the small ones look like. Well, I think it'll fit either way. You're probably better off to put it this way. with the small one. I may have to consult my owner's manual or my local service department. Let's have a look here. This one's a little harder to tell. It's got paint on the outside. That one's good. Double check, make sure this one's good. I did look at them before, but no, they're good. So we'll just stick them on here like this. Grab our little cap thing here. Now just make sure your bolts are in decent shape, that they're not bent or the heads are kind of half wore off or something, because they take a lot of force when you're tightening this thing. So you just put it all together like that nicely. Whoops. And starting bolts might be a little interesting until you find the hole. Come on. There it is. Now, don't just grab an impact and tighten this down. I highly recommend not using an impact on here, and use your hands or something, or hand tools. Impacts are like, I hate them. I don't like them. They stretch bolts and they don't give you a feeling if your threads are clean, you know, all that good stuff. Some things I'll use them, yes, don't get me wrong, like removing knives and stuff. Even putting them on, but I don't impact them down. I just one tick and then hand tight. Then just make sure it's kind of centered. And hold on here. And now obviously I can't do, well maybe I can. Here, let's grab maybe I could do it with a wrench. So this is how I do my clutches. Start on one side. Half a turn. Exact opposite. Half a turn. And get it to touch. Half a turn. Tighten it down and half a turn. And just do it like a set of car tires. Same thing. And just half a turn of tension at a time. Like that. And even the first ones we did are already pulled down a bit. So we just keep going here. Now before I get too far here, I'll just snug them all so they're sitting there nice. Okay, before we get too far, you want to make sure that you also look from this end of your clutch. I just got it in the vise here very gently. Normally I should have. I kind of screwed up. Should have put a rag here. I mean, I don't have it tightened down super tight or anything, just to hold it, but just make sure everything looks good. On the back side here, how everything's put together. And on the front side, just make sure it looks half even around here, you know. And what I should have actually done was, I might actually still do that, is we're just gonna take a bit of tension off here. Oh, that doesn't work yet. Hold on. Should have done this a different way here. And we'll take this tension off. Holy. I tightened it that much. Oh yeah, it's that one. Last one. Wow. I didn't think I had it that tight. There we go. Okay. Then I actually will go and should have done this first. Give it a few turns. Just to make sure it's not binding or catching or something dumb, right? And that'll mate the surfaces together just a little bit. You know what I mean? If there's some junk or something in between there that you didn't notice, then you can tell. Like that. Now I will do the half turn thing, but I'm going to pause you because it's a lot faster. So just hang on. All right, there. We have this all tightened down now. I just constantly went one after the other, well, like skipped and back and then around, you know what I mean, in a nice pattern, little by little. Actually didn't even do half a turn, I did quarter turns once it got hard, because you got to tighten this down so that this outside ring here actually touches the inside here, and then the bolts are actually tight, like tightened right down. And everything's nicely put together here. So we'll just grab our clutch here. Sorry for the poor camera. Now our clutch goes here. Now make sure, this is kind of important. I'm gonna put you down here, but our clutch goes here. Now you can see spacers here and a bigger spacer. You make sure you got the right ones in there, just in case. And then you just go like this. And that's how our clutch fits on, right? Just like that. But you make sure that you look down your clutch here. You even take the chain completely off. I cheated and I didn't even break the chain in half. I'll show you what I did. But to just make sure that your sprocket lines up good with the other one. Put the chain on, you know, all that. Because this one was actually out just a little bit. Or, no, one of our other pickups. Sorry, not this pickup, but a different one. And then since you have this chain now loose, I'm going to replace these bushings here. I got brand new ones. So I'm just going to replace these right here. And it looks to be just, is it a snap ring here? Yeah, there's just a snap ring right here. And this will come off. Just be careful, there's a spring and stuff on here. And then just check that bolt, wherever that bolt is. Here, hang on. Come on. And I always try to lay my chain the same way it came off, so that it travels in the same direction. Check this little guy here. Give her a spin and a little wiggle. Sorry, it's kind of dark over here. I guess I should have had a light. Hold on. I think I got one here with a battery in it. That's better. Now we can see what we're doing here. Now, a couple other things here. Since we have this off, I'm going to take a wrench to these. Check them, and these ones too, check them. Same with this bolt, I'll check it. Any of these bolts here, these ones, since this is all nicely open, if I see a bolt anywhere, I'm gonna check it. These things take a hell of a beating. Now, this bolt here on the back, you can see hooks on the spring there. Well, we had it, I didn't have it that it broke, but this bolt actually had to get replaced. And it was half wore through. The hook of the spring was wearing through the bolt. So just watch for that. Just check that while you're in here. This little clutch here, you can give her a spin. A lot of people don't grease this one very much. I would actually grease this one once a week, to be honest. Just because it's an overrunning clutch, so every time you reverse your header, this thing is running over, right? So that it doesn't run the pickup teeth backwards, basically. And I do know that, I can't show you now, well, I guess I could, but if your pickup's all put together and your chain's on there and you go like this, and you have good bushings, it should do this. And it should roll a little more. But if you do this, and it just stops, grease that over there. And you'll be amazed at how much smoother it moves. And that's one thing I noticed over time. Yep. And then I just put nice new tires on over there. Changed one this summer, and I changed the second one now. And what a pain in the neck those little tires are. I don't know what else to tell you for clutches. On this clutch here, now, oh, sorry about that. I'm sitting on a pail here. So there's also this little holder thing on here and stuff. Just make sure that your bolt's in good shape, right? Make sure this washer is the right way with these little ribs sticking towards the head. All that good stuff. And then, I'm just going to take some brake cleaner or something. And I'm going to clean up these threads. And then maybe spray a little bit in there and blow it out with air. And then I'll put some blue Loctite on here. Look up the torque spec in the book. Because you basically have to go by the number on the head here, the 8.8. And then refer to the bolt size, whatever metric bolt it is. And then look up a torque chart, because Claus doesn't really give you that. They give you, they tell you a bolt chart, like a torque chart. So, and since we're on the subject of clutches and chains and all that good stuff, there's a few more things. So, these clutches you saw had 3 spring plates in here. Some of the older pickups, now this is from a long time ago memory, only had 2 in here, these spring plates. Now I can't remember if it was here or on that clutch back there, because the older pickups had the exact same clutch right here, instead of this nice fancy gearbox we have and all this heavy duty stuff now. And we used to burn up those clutches on the auger all the time. And so what we did was we put an extra spring plate in there. Actually, the boss did it. Put an extra spring plate in there, and it actually helped. I don't recommend doing that, but it does help. And you got to be more careful, because the more stuff you make stronger, the rest of the stuff down the line can break. Now, this chain here, usually when you put a brand new chain on, it'll stretch for a while, and you have to tension it a couple of times, and then it should be good. So just keep an eye on this one. I try to keep some oil in a little 1-liter jug back there at the back of the chopper, in a little squirt bottle. And in the morning, or when I'm servicing, or when I have time, I'll just take this shield off and then put the header in. Well, you can just squirt it on the chain, but I put the header halfway between gears on this handle, and then I just turn the auger by hand. Sometimes you can turn it even just the way it is, a lot tougher, and then I'll rotate it and grease it. And then same here, check your teeth here, teeth wear here, check these bolts and these bolts. There are 2 hidden grease nipples back here. There is one right there, in that little dimple. It's in there anyhow. There's a grease nipple in there. Plus, there's also one on this clutch here, sticking in to the side here, but on the back. So there's 2 of them back there, one for the bearing and then one for the clutch. And really, that I just grease them. I've never had problems with these clutches yet. So this one here anyways, that one, well, yeah, it depends what you're picking up. If you pick up some pretty heavy stuff, that's pretty hard on it. And look what it's got to do. Got to do 3.8 meters of work out of that little clutch. You know, and then pickup, of course, just kind of keep an eye on your pickup here. Since I'm on pickup and check these rollers here. Now you can see I have the end caps off. Just check these rollers. You can just move your pickup so that it's not touching the cam, and then you can spin each roller. There's 5 on this side, 5 on the opposite side, and then in the center here, you can just get a finger in here, and there's 5 rollers right beside this center band here, and just check them as well. And usually if you put them up top here, they'll spin freely, just like this, and they're halfway between each row, and then I just go like this with my hand, and I can spin the roller. Watch for wear here. I welded this up last year. And this plate, once I've replaced before, this wear plate here. These are new last year. These leading edges of the auger here. Hold on. This leading edge small piece here, and the opposite one on this side, of course. So those are new. I will check these bolts once in a while. Usually just when it's brand new, maybe once a year. If I'm lucky, I might check it with the odd 1 or 2. As I have on a new machine, had these fall out. Well, or come loose, I guess you could say. They didn't fall right out, but they were loose after 50 hours or something. And that's why when you get a fairly new machine, or you do any work on a machine, just double check your shit later. Just make sure it's still tight. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay, now you see this spring here. This is actually, I think, an optional equipment. Is this spring to hold the auger down so it doesn't lift. And on top of it, let's see, maybe I can get on it on this side. Hold on. I can't lower the auger down or anything to show you guys, but maybe we can see here. Put our light there. There it is there. You can see the spring. There's a bolt on top. Well, underneath that bolt is a little like cone washer, so that as the auger goes up and down, of course, as the auger goes up and down, you can see this bolt is all the way to the back of the hole. And then when the auger goes down, it would go to the middle, right? So it's got that bushing has got to go like this inside there. We'll check those things, Because one of these on, was it this pickup or the other pickup? I can't remember. Might have been this pickup. One of them was actually pretty wore out. So I made a good one and just replaced it. What other pickup maintenance? Your steel wheel under there. Way down here. Get the steel wheel in the middle. And the bushings on it like to wear out. And not really where the wheel rotates, but where it hinges. You have arm on the side. And then up top there, where it hooks in. Those bushings. And like I can't do it, but I don't think I could lift this. No. But it's not in very good shape. I need to rebuild that actually a little bit. And same with these bushings here. This is the worst setup I've ever seen in the entire world on a chopper, especially coming from somebody as good as Claus, because Claus is usually known for their machinery to stand up. Well, no. Look how worn out this is. Look at the movement in there. You know? And that doesn't even go to show you this. I mean, your little wheel swivels here. And obviously, it's been greased. It's not like I don't grease my equipment, that's for sure. I think probably over-grease, if anything. And then, since we're on the subject of pickup wheels, also, grab your pickup wheel when it's on here and move it side to side, back and forth. Because there's a little, like, I don't know where my extra one is, but, or not extra, but one of my old ones. There's a little plastic thing here. And over time, it actually will squeeze in. And then the bearing actually sits out over the edge, or inside the edge of the shaft. So that when you tighten it up, the washer comes against this shaft here and is supposed to hold the bearings tight, you know? Well, they don't do that. So I got to take this off, which I can't. I can't get this off. This doesn't want to move. But I will get it off. I probably just got to spray air in there and then maybe a little bit of a penetrating. I mean, it's plastic, right? So you can't pry on it. You just break it. And this is tin, so you'll just bend it. So it's just a stupid setup. And then I'm just going to put a spacer behind there, a little small washer, and we're good to go. Yes. Not really any other issues that I can think of. What about on the back side? I guess there is a couple things to check. I mean, of course, you guys probably have heard this from me before, but these bolts here will come loose. Anything on the suspension here. This is our pickup suspension right here. This little square bar here and stuff. So just check that. And then make sure when you put your pickup on that little jaw there, this little jaw right here, is tight against that round bar. Because if it isn't, and you put your pickup on the ground, what you can have happen is our quick connector on the header here will separate and start skipping. So make sure you keep your jaw locked tight. And the way I do it is I like having this handle where you actually have to pull on it just a little bit to lock it into the little square hole there. That's the way I do it. Check your gearbox here, of course. You see some mounting bolts here. I checked some of the bolts across just the back here. Little 13 mil ones. Some of them were actually kind of half loose. Yeah. And then greasing, well, grease nipple here. Those two in there. One on that sprocket. One on each of these. These are just rollers here. And then opposite side of the header on the bearing as well. Or do I have it open? I might actually. Yeah, I do. And here. And our swivel one, which actually should be greased fairly often because it's moving all day. But this one's under a shield, so you actually have to take the shield off to grease this one. And then same here. And then grease nipples, one on this pin, one on this pin. You just got to move it in and out and you'll see where they are. One here and one here somewhere. And here, nothing down in the teeth. So, okay, well, Questions, comments, just let me know. Oh, 2 here. Where are our pickup rollers here? Swivel up and down. Oh, pff. Dust. And cracked, I guess sometimes. Hang on. Back here. Hang on. So you can see, there's that hole right there. Well, that bracket itself in places can crack. On the edges, in places I can't show you where because this one's not broken, but people have, I've seen it on one of our pickups. I can't remember, it's been a while. And then somebody else has told me too that they saw that on another pickup. That bracket there likes to crack in a couple spots. But other than that, that's about it. And that gearbox there, that 90-degree box right there, you check once every so many hours. I would do even once a week. Well, I don't have to once a week, but I mean, if you're doing heavy work, check it. Make sure it's tight and still attached to the header, because those came loose on people. It's a known issue. And then I will check that small bolt in the quick coupler there, out the side. This bolt here, that one. Just make sure it's kind of half tight, because you don't really want that rocking on the splines. It'll eventually wear your splines out. That's no good. Just costs you money. You don't want that. That's it. I'm sure that's it. If there's anything I missed, let me know, or if not, just, yeah, questions, comments. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a good day.